Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another concert review. And joining me for this little rundown of a show is Jack Toledano and Rich Pardo. What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you, Pete?
Doing good. Doing
How you
good.
doing?
Doing all right. Rich, I was, well, both of you guys, I was, every morning I wake up and I keep thinking about that pizza we had before the Winery Dogs show the other day. I'm like,
That was really good, yeah.
it was really good. I'll be dreaming
Yes.
of square tomato pie from Jersey every day now, so I'll have it again. But
Just
woo,
the right amount of cheese. It was really good, yeah.
lots of sauce. It
Yeah.
was delicious.
It was a really good idea of yours to have them make a fresh pie because those slices behind the counter there behind the glass, after sitting out there all day, they start to look like cardboard. So
Yeah.
no
And
offense to that place.
aside from the fact that there weren't enough slices sitting on the counter anyway. So, and I just want to shout out Brooklyn Square Pizza.
Yes.
That's where we went. Manalapan. There's also Jackson and Tom's River. Awesome place.
I didn't realize it was so close to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great stuff. Anyway, we didn't come here to talk about pizza.
I know.
See what I started, right? But anyway,
so we can talk about my dinner tonight. Steak and shrimp fajitas.
See that with, and forget about the concert, right? We'll just talk about food all day. So the three of us got together down in I'm drawing a blank. Sayreville, New Jersey. That's right. It's Starland Ballroom to see it's the beginning of the tour for the Winery Dogs. So this was this the second night of the tour?
No.
Tour?
About the fourth or fifth, I believe.
Is it that far in?
Which I know there was the Pat Drug show that I could have gone to, but I was away for the weekend. Then there was the New York City show, and then so I think we were about show 4 or 5. Yeah, they went down to Baltimore, and then they headed back up north. Yeah, so
they were in Connecticut yesterday. So so it's just the beginning, and of course, Sydney Taylor from the Hudson Valley Square. She's actually working the merch table on this entire tour. So we got to spend some time with her, and she was kind of giving me the lowdown of all the dates that are still left. So it's quite a lot of dates over the next month. They should be, I think they finished early April, but they're pretty much jam packed throughout the month of March. So they got a lot of dates that they're doing, and we met up with Mike Portnoy after the show, and he was telling us how they're trying to hit lots of towns and cities that they don't normally hit when they go out and tour. So it should be pretty interesting. But yeah, so they played to a fairly packed house. I don't think it was sold out, but there was a good 600-700 people in the Starland Ballroom down in Sayreville, New Jersey. And the band played, I think the set list is pretty much the same each and every night. It's 17 songs in full. Rich got a shirt. Rich, I don't know if you want to kind of model that off a little bit there. There you go.
Yeah, you may want to stand up a little.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
And of course, this is the album you're touring. Yep, we all got our little after show badges and things. So this is the third album here. They actually played 6 songs off of the new album, which pretty hefty selection. I kind of applaud them. They mixed them in really nice. I think they played the 2 kind of hardest rocking ones right off the bat, right? We got Gaslight and Xanadu to kick off the show, which I think was really cool. And then they kind of sprinkled the rest throughout. And of course, if you don't know who the Winery Dogs are, on drums, Mike Portnoy, Billy Sheehan on bass, and Richie Kotzen on guitars and vocals. And actually all 3 guys take part in the vocals, right? You got Billy and Mike doing backup vocals the entire show. And I thought it was really good. Rich, I don't know, why don't you kick us off? I think the show got off to a little rough start sound-wise, but then it kind of, so go ahead.
Yeah, basically, I think you had the perfect phrase for it. It was like a wall of sound, and we really couldn't hear Richie's vocals that much. I'm like, I kind of was wondering, was it my hearing? Is it my earplugs that I normally wear? Were they not set right? But then after that, the 5th song on, it really sounded good, and we could hear him. It was perfect. So it just it's a little bit of a rough start, but they the music was great. That, don't get me wrong, it's not like they were bad for the first four songs. Just the mix wasn't right.
Yeah, and I think all the shows I've ever seen down there, I don't recall any of them being a great sounding gig at Starland Ballroom. I don't know what it is about that place. It's kind of like the Chance in Poughkeepsie. It's like no matter who you see there, it never sounds great. And it's a weird shaped room, although we were like,
Yeah,
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
It's a really weird shaped room,
Yeah.
right? We were standing straight back at the front of the bar, right, center stage. So you would think that'd be the perfect place. But even when I was kind of like walking around early on, going to the bathroom and things like that,
the fact that the room, that they're projecting to a very rectangular shaped room, and there's a section off to if you're standing in the back, off to the left, there's like a whole section that it's not projecting to. Right. It was projecting directly to us in the back bar there. So I think some of the sound was escaping. Yeah.
It reminds me that the shape of the room reminds me of like the old BB King's in New York City, where you had that. Right. In fact, you mentioned, Jack, all the way to the left of the stage. There's this whole area that if the sound is going straight out, you're not really getting that over there. And it's the same thing in this place. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird shaped room, but yeah. And, Rich mentioned we had a hard time hearing Richie's vocals early on. Also, the first couple songs, I wasn't hearing his rhythm guitar much. His lead guitar was cutting through the mix really well. And Billy is always really loud. I heard Mike fine as well. So right. There really wasn't an issue there. But then all of a sudden it kind of clicked in, and that happens a lot in places like this. They're still working through the sound. They're working through the kinks. And then boom, it just, everything sounds great. In fact, at one point, about halfway through the show, Rich and I kept taking our earplugs out just to kind of see how it sounded. And it sounded much, much better. So right. I think they worked through it. So, Jack, what were some of your favorite moments before we go through all the tracks?
Well, so one thing I'd like to mention, and this hasn't been mentioned a lot. They have an opening band, Colossal Street Jam, who was quite good, and
really good actually. Yeah.
I was very impressed that he played an old style Hammond with the Leslie cabinet, and of course, I didn't know anything except for the very last song they played, "Green Eyed Lady." I forget the name of the band. That's an old standard, but great, excellent sounding.
Now, was that just a local band, or are they touring with them on some of the dates? Do we even know that?
No, they did. I went to their site and it didn't really say. So maybe that's a question for Sydney, if we can, at some point. But in any event, so my favorite songs, again, they had no weak spot in their set list, but I don't want to give too much away for anybody that hasn't seen them yet. So plug your ears if you don't want any spoilers. Gaslight, Xanadu, which Pete mentioned, Desire, a great song, jumped right out at me. Stars, Mad World, the very last song of the set, Oblivion, and then the second song of the encore, Elevate. And yes, they have been consistent every night without any change. And we were also treated to a Billy Sheehan bass solo, which was really nice. So
yeah. One of the for me, all the songs you mentioned were great. I think the song that really resonated with me, and if it's not my favorite, it's my second favorite on the album, is Breakthrough, which is probably the most commercial song on the record. And it went over really well live. And we ran into our number one viewer, Gary Joyce, at the show, just like showed up out of the blue behind us. And so we hung out with him for the whole night. And I reached over to Gary right after they played Breakthrough. And I said, in a perfect world, this would be a big radio hit if we had radio that gave a damn anymore and played new music, right? Yeah. It just got that quality. I think Breakthrough in the 80s would have been a really, really popular song. It's got a great hook, great chorus. Yeah, it's catchy. The riffs are good. It just really went over live. And I can see that song maybe being a part of their set list going forward, as long as these guys still play together. It's just a really, really good song. Rich, any songs that really stood out for you?
Basically what you guys mentioned, I like. I like Captain Love. It's got a nice groove to it, which I'm not like I don't have the biggest familiarity with the band. Like I just listened to a couple times before, like the new album before we went. They just like they groove like that. That's what I like about the music. And what I expected before I went to the show was that this would be a band that you'd want to see live, that their music translates really well to a live setting, and I wasn't disappointed with that. Like they just everything's got a nice groove to it. It's the perfect word for it. So.
Yeah, I'd argue again. I have been following them since they released the first album, but I've never seen them live. This was the first time. I would argue that they're even more enjoyable live than they are on record. The record's really good, but I think live is where it really comes across. And the groove thing is absolutely spot on. It's because they play this kind of, and we were joking with Mike after the show. It's like, and when I talked to him recently, it's like, when he does Winery Dogs, that's the time for him to kind of step out of the prog and the metal spotlight and do something like this, which is kind of like bluesy, groovy, hard rock, right? But then I think Jack said to him, it's like, well, but there's little bits of prog in this stuff too, right?
Well, reason being, the way I'm thinking, so yes, they have a very classic 70s sound, but then you compare them to like a band like Kiss or even like Bad Company, where it's a little more simpler. Nothing they do is simple.
No,
very good. So that's where I'm saying that there's got to be a little prog influence in there, because
you're
not going to have a bass player like Billy Sheehan on all those old standard 70s, and somebody who just really pounds the skins like Mike Portnoy.
There's that virtuoso like musicality going throughout all their
songs,
even the more simple ones. Then Richie comes in and he does this like totally shredding guitar solo, or Billy's doing all this crazy stuff, and Mike's drumming is never boring, right? So even the more kind of straightforward songs for them are not straightforward at all, by any other band standards. So
if I can really add one more thing to that. So lately, when I rate an album, and as I go through my ranking the albums of bands, that some that I know, but albums that I haven't heard, I have to like listen to every song, strip it down, give it a rating. And now I've listened to all 3 Winery Dogs albums. I cannot rate any song bad, not one. They are just that damn good. So it makes it a little more difficult to pick out their high points. So I go with the more catchy numbers in that event.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. I don't think there are any bad songs in their catalog, and it's interesting now that they're 3 albums in. They can go out and play what was this set? A little over 90 minutes. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. So they can go out and play an entire set of just their material. They don't have to do any covers. They don't have to do any, Dream Theater songs or David Lee Roth songs or anything else from their past, right? They can just do Winery Dog stuff. I think that's pretty cool now. And it's because I kind of wasn't sure, but then, Rich reminded me when I talked to Mike, he mentioned, he goes, no, we're just doing all our own material now because we have 3 full albums. So it was pretty cool.
It was very nice speaking to Mike, and he spent a lot of time with the 3 of us. It was very cool. I even got to play photographer for a few other people that came along and asked for pictures with Mike. So that was cool.
Yeah. So that was good. I thought it was a really good show, and I'm glad we got to see them. And so for those of you out there watching and you have an opportunity to see them, because they're playing, quite a lot on I think the most of this first leg is all on the East Coast, so to speak, and then they're going to start moving out a little bit. If you get a chance to see them, go catch them, because the tickets are affordable, and you'll get a 90+ minute set jam-packed with Winery Dogs gems from their catalog, including 6 songs from the new album. So you'll get to hear how these songs sound live on stage. So I don't know, Rich, Jack, any final words on the show?
No, it's just that it was only my second show that I've seen since this whole COVID thing, and what, I picked a good one. It was I didn't really know these guys well, other than the fact that I've seen Billy. I saw Billy with Niacin years ago when we went to Near Fest, and I've seen Mike 3 times with Dream Theater in years past. But it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing Richie Kotzen. I've never seen him in anything before. I've
yeah.
seen Mike a million times with
So,
so many of his other bands, and Dream Theater, Sons of Apollo, Neil Morse, and whatnot. And I've seen Billy. I mean, I saw Billy in Tallis back in the mid '80s.
ah,
Tallis opened up for Yngwie Malmsteen at the Beacon Theater, which was really cool. That was right before he joined David Lee Roth's band, so that was cool. And I've seen him in Niacin, and I've seen him in Sons of Apollo, and probably a few other things that is escaping me at the moment. But yeah, Rich, any final words on the show?
No, I would say that I'm probably more interested in the Sons of Apollo than anything else that Mike is involved with. I was really glad that I went to see the band, and I'm actually going to start listening to them more. Like it's just it's the music is just really accessible. It's just it's a pleasure to listen to. It's grooving, and like you said, there aren't any bad songs. Like I would say that the worst you're going to get on one of their albums is it's a solid song. That's about as bad as you're going to get. So like, how could you go wrong with that?
right.
Okay. Cool. Jack, any updates on All or Not According to Jack? Anything you got coming up?
Okay, so there's a couple things. So I'm working on trying to get my first. So I had told everybody in the past that I was going to do all these episodes about Seinfeld. So now that's morphed. I'm going to do some episodes about Curb Your Enthusiasm, and that's about to hit YouTube, and definitely this week. What else? I don't do a lot of reviews, but I'm going to want to try and review, the Winery Dogs, because I just saw them, the album itself. And then I want to do a review of the most recent Uriah Heep, Chaos and Colors. Awesome, damn good album. And then continuing on with the top three metal albums by year, and I got to talk to you about that afterwards. So.
Okay, cool.
Not to give too much away.
All right, I'm not going to let my brother go without him showing what the hell he's drinking over there. I see that every so often. I'm like,
this is what I'm drinking tonight. It's the 8th anniversary Burlington Beer Company.
Oh, beer. That place is great.
Actually, you would love this beer because it's not what I like; it's what you like. It's
what is it?
It's like a 5-point-something% lager. I should have saved it. I should have given it to you. I shouldn't be drinking it.
Can you get their beers locally by you?
Yeah.
I can't find any stuff here.
No, we get like certain of them of the bigger ones that you do. We get them on a regular basis, and then occasionally I get some of the interesting ones. But what happens is during the summers I go up to Vermont and I'll stock up on stuff that I don't normally get down here. Yeah, good to have it.
I got to ask my local guy because he has like a whole shelf of Vermont beers that he brings in, but I've never once seen Burlington Beer Company stuff. So I got to.
Yeah. Well, I must say I want to thank you for bringing down the Equilibrium beer for me. I had one of those tonight. That was very good. That's more my style than this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That looks really nice, though. That's the perfect color for me.
There you go. See that? We started off with pizza, we ended with beer. With a little music discussion in the middle, right?
Yes.
I have a couple of really good places by me that I have to check out. I don't know if you guys have Total Wines by you, but I have them by me on Long Island. They're a great place, and I might find that.
They have a lot of different things there, and they also do a good job of having local beer selection. So like by us, they have a whole New Jersey thing. So I'm sure by you, it's a whole Long Island thing.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. And all of New York State. So that too.
Pretty cool.
So Omegon, that's like very easy to find there. I know that's up in by the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's up by Cooperstown.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching this concert review of the Winery Dogs from Starland Ballroom in New Jersey the other night. That was, what was the date on that? The 23rd, right? Yes.
Yes. Yep.
23rd of February. And like I said, if you get a chance to go check them out on this tour, please do so, and stop by the merch table to say hi to Sydney Taylor from the Hudson Valley Squares here on Sea of Tranquility. She's working the whole tour, and she's got all sorts of cool stuff there that the Winery Dogs are selling. So thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to check out All or Not According to Jack's YouTube channel, and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all
the damn
time. For Rich Pardo and Jack Toledano, I am Pete Pardo. Good night, everybody. See you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.